All right, here we go. I'm doing this video for the Sci-Fi Express Lane, and we're going to talk about why we have so many female-led stories, why and what's that all about. All right. So this is Jeff Carroll on the Sci-Fi. I'm gonna keep this down on the Sci-Fi Express Lane, coming to you in the AM recording. All right. So yeah, let's get it on. I'm a writer. I love to commentate. Always got something to say. You know, people will feel comfortable asking me all types of questions. So I get used to answering anything. You know what I'm saying? Part of why I started this blog was because of people like Stephen Barnes and L.A. Banks and what's the dude's name? Michael Davis, who ran the Black Panel. These were people that were heavily into science fiction and comic books, but were also into a lot of things going on in the world. And that problem that I have with a lot of science fiction writers is they try to separate politics from writing, from their science fiction stories. And to me, that is the stupidest thing, you know, because science fiction, hardcore science fiction, leads society. It's a test drive for things that can go on and change in the world today. Even if you're looking at history, you're wondering if this would have been different, if this would have happened, you know, the world would be different today. Or how would the world be different today? So that way you can go about looking at things that you're doing now for the future. So, you know, science fiction and politics and real world connections are at the core. They're joined by the hip. So, I don't know. I may do something on science fiction and politics because I feel me just going off on a tangent before I even get started. But let me get started. One of the best, most disappointing movies I saw this weekend was the last installment of the Predator series, the movie Prey. And why do I say it was the best, most disappointing? Well, because the movie was great. However, the movie was only released on Hulu, on the streaming service. And, you know, that's sad because the movie was a good theatrical release. And theatrical releases may get illegally streamed. You know, back in the days they used to get bootlegged. But at the end of the day, whether it's illegally streamed or it's bootlegged, people still go to the theaters. And I mean, they don't even have to, I don't even think they have to release these movies on printed film. Like before, there was a cost for movies to be distributed to different theaters because you had to make prints of them and they all played film. But I don't think that these movies are on film anymore. They may be on a hard drive at best. Maybe they're streamed straight to the theaters and the theaters download them on a private server. I don't know, but I do think that they're digital movies now. I think they're digital movies, and once the theater gets them, they play them. I don't think theaters get film anymore. I have to ask my projectionist to see if he's still got a job. But this movie was good and bad because of that. It was so good it should have been in the theaters, and I feel bad because I think theatrical releases are the system that allow royalties and bonuses to be paid, whereas although it is less, I guess not production, but distribution. I don't know where film reproduction comes in, but it's got to be under distribution, right? So I don't know if it's the distribution budget that's gone down, because I know even though they stream a movie, they're gonna still try to market it. Shoot, I saw trailers for Prey in online or in with other movies. It might have been in the theaters. If you go to a movie, it might have showed you the Prey trailer in the theater, and that's messed up because it's not even coming to the theaters. So anyway, the other conversation that came from this Prey movie spectacular was female-led movies. Now, unlike some other female-led movies, the female in this movie did practical female things. She did not outdo men per se. She didn't outstrength men. She used her brain. And it reminded me, like, if I was to swap out her character, I would swap it out for a small guy, right? Almost like Captain America before he was put in the chamber and became Captain America. You know, because the things that she did that similar to what a small guy would do. And to me, that's a bravo, right? So let me backtrack, right? So that's what I liked about her. Now, to answer the question, why are we seeing so many female-led stories, right? I knew this was coming, right? I knew this question was coming to me. It may have been asked before, but I started to pick up on it when I was at the Urban Nerd Con in Montgomery. A gentleman came up and said, I only buy comic books with black men on the covers. And I had never heard of that before. I was like, you could have bought every comic with black people, you know, earlier, because most of the comics had male characters, and if they were black, they had a black male. And then, I started to think, what is a hero? Who is a hero? Why are they all men? Well, men are the ones that are supposed to do stuff heroic. Not that women can't, but when, as little as little things as possible. I hear a knock at the door in the house with a man and a woman. Who's supposed to get up and go see the knock or the sound in the house? Or shoot, my wife, who gets up and kills the water bug or the spider, right? The man. Those are the things that are supposedly heroic, right? Now, any human can rise to the occasion. Big brothers, big sisters, they're supposed to look after their younger brothers and sisters, and something comes towards them, they're supposed to step up. So shoot, even siblings and children can do it. So yes, single women can do it. But when we think of a hero, you're thinking of somebody stepping up. You're thinking of the police. You're thinking of the fire department. And yes, we have police women. Yes, we have fire women, right? But you don't always think of them. So they've been a secondary thought, because these departments and these careers were actually made for men, right? Because that is the male's role. Not that women can't do it. So when Women's Lib came up, yeah, there's women that's bigger than men. So of course, the women were able to do the job. And especially with the police department, you need women on the job, because it's easier for a woman to be able to do certain things with other women than it is for a man, right? So that's important. But you still think of a Green Beret, you think of a Marine, you know what I'm saying? You think of what's the ones, the Army, the Navy SEALs, the elite teams. Yes, there's women there. Vasquez, from Aliens, no doubt, but you still think of men. So that's the default setting. However, we know that women do these things. So why do more of my stories have female characters, right? I looked at two covers of Bonnie the Killer. I have Fingernails. I even have Cyber Bay on one of my stories, right? And then I have Planet Kibalon, which kind of has both, right? Then on my books, I have Destiny is on the cover of It Happened on Negro Mountain. I have a woman on the cover of Sci-Fi Streets with a robot, because there's a good story in there. I have Welcome to Boss Lady's Planet, and I have Rashida the Zombie Killer. I have one book with a man on the cover, and that's Thug Angel. My comic books, I have The Twa Man and Horror Streets and Horror Streets Summer. And that's really Baba, because Baba is a monster. However, you know, I never came up to have more stories with women on the covers than I did with men. It just happened. Now, thinking about how it happened, you know, I'm an equal liberal, you know, I'm an equal person, so I'm not a chauvinistic individual, especially if you look at that. Shoot, let me look at my movies, right? My first movie is Holla If I Kill You. That was definitely a guy, because Holla was a guy. Brooklyn Mike did an excellent job. Then I did Gold Digger Killer. That was Shatara Curry, another comedian, excellent comedian. Then I did the Death Pledge. That was Baba. So that's a monster, but shoot, it's the Death Pledge, right? Then I did, well, the next one that came out was The Black Nun. So I've been back and forth. Now I have 2 more movies coming out. Stay Out, which is about a couple, and Conjuring Baba, which is about Baba. So I'm back and forth. I think my movies are very balanced. There are male, female people on the cover, as well as there are women and men, so I can't really call it. But I think what happens when we try to do females on the covers or female-led stories, we're just looking for something different. And because of the default setting is there's 50 million Superman, right? There's 50 million Jason Bournes. You know, you want to do a secret agent story, yeah, you may use a female just to do it. You want to do a paranormal story, yeah, Blade is there. He's your vampire hunter. But the next one, you know, it's not going to be a short Blade, a fat Blade, a white Blade. Yeah, you can go racial difference, but you're probably going to go gender, right? You're going to go female, you know? So I think that's what happens more than anything, is that women are unused or unexhausted story item, and that's how they do it. Now, I think they're going to get She-Hulk right, but the next point I was going to make with this female-led story is almost like when we started getting black people in stories. You don't want to go overboard and create a magic Negro per se. And you don't want to go overboard and make some Incredible Hulk female. What do I mean by that? Writing female characters, you still got to remember they're female, right? And what does that mean? Oh, the feminists are coming at me. Well, shoot, when I go to track and field, right? When I go to physical strength competitions, there's a difference between men and women, right? Not to mention in a comic book, you want, you know, people to look attractive as well. So you take the strongest man and the strongest woman, the muscles are more attractive on men than they are women. People, men and women, like their women curvy. Muscles destroy the curves. So muscle women don't really get too much play, especially if you've ever gone to a muscle competition. They do not look like what people think attractive is. So yes, when you think of the strongest muscular woman and all this sci-fi stuff, you're going to think of She-Hulk, right? So she's got a show coming out. Why isn't She-Hulk as muscular as the strongest woman in bodybuilding competitions, right? Well, because that doesn't look attractive to most people. Okay, it may look attractive to some people, but to most people it doesn't. And so that's, you know, where it is. Now, the Incredible Hulk, he may look stronger than the strongest man. Of course he does. But why? Well, because they took Lou Ferrigno, who was a international bodybuilding champion, and made him the Incredible Hulk. And that was a real person, because muscles look attractive on men. The other thing you got to be looking for is just the athleticism of women. And that's when I go into mixed martial arts, I go into track and field competitions. Women and men have a different ability in terms of strength and speed and all that other stuff. So when it comes to what do you call it? Fighting, it's not like you got to fight like a girl. That's nonsense. But you need to fight as if you are a girl, right? And that's different. And they have breasts. They got, men don't kick in the groin. Women may kick in the groin because they don't get sore like men do, but it does still hurt. What else? They fight different. So that's why I liked Prey, because the girl was also a younger girl, and she wasn't able to go toe to toe. She's not standing in front of the predator, punching him in the face like Arnold Schwarzenegger was. You understand? He's punching the alien in the face. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So he can do that because Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Lou Ferrigno, was a bodybuilder. They didn't get him from Vin Diesel acting school. They got Arnold Schwarzenegger like they get a lot of these women from beauty contests, right? The male beauty contest is the bodybuilding competition. So I just think that is important. I do like women fighting. Haywire, I think, was probably the best one because she was also a stunt woman. But I think that's one thing you got to be mindful of when you're writing a female character. You need to write them as a woman, not necessarily as a strongest person. They're going to fight different than Jason Bourne. And I think that's important. Their abilities, their whole thought process is going to be built around that. That's why I like my substitution for like the girl in Prey. She's actually, thought about how she was going to beat the alien, and that's how she fought the alien. So anyway, that's why I think, female characters are so dominant. We're looking for something other than the default setting, which is men. It's fresh ground, fresh territory. They're not new. Women have been around. My favorite writer that got me into sci-fi is L.A. Banks, and she had a female lead character in her 13-book series, The Vampire Huntress. So anyway, Jeff Carroll, Sci-Fi Express Lane. Like, subscribe. Come on, let's get these subscriptions up. Share and comment. All right. Talk to y'all later. Thank you.